Josh from Porter Valley Ranch. Got some things going on today. First of all, our business is back open. So I know you guys haven't been watching this channel very long because we just started it. But a huge reason why we started this channel is because our business was shut down due to the COVID-19 virus. So we had a lot more time on our hands, and to be honest, the only way I could stay sane was to work here on our micro ranch, on our little farm. I love being outside. I love nature. It's where I feel most at home. It's where I feel at peace. It's where I get rid of my anxiety. I come outside and do projects and work and build things and cut down trees and dig holes, and I feel connected to who I'm supposed to be, who God made me to be, which is a person who loves being outside. My job is very social. My job is coaching, so I coach kids and deal with their parents and talk to people, and I love that. But when I have me time, I just want to be by myself, so I kind of isolate in the woods and do things. So luckily, God's blessed us with this property. We have 16 acres that we can come out and we can do things and improve the land. But our business opened back up yesterday, so we're going to be doing some projects, but it will be over the course of days because I can work for a couple hours in the morning, and then I've got to go to work, and we run the dance studio and gymnastics gym, so most of our classes start about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you notice that halfway through a project I kind of change clothes or stuff like that, that's why. Anyway, so a couple of things going on today. Number one, our first goats that we had on our property came from a goat that I had purchased a couple years ago named Bella. So we bought Bella. She was a 3/4 Ibex, and then she had a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of Pygmy goat in her. So we bought her kind of as something for the kids. Well, we brought her here. We had a 4-foot fence, and man, she just jumped straight out. Ibex are mountain goats, so she just jumped straight out of our fence. So we sent her back to my dad's house. He's got a high fence, and waited for her to have babies, thinking that when she had babies, the babies would be inside the 4-foot fence and she would stay there because of them. She wouldn't want to jump out. So she finally had babies. She had 2. We named them Rumble and Rosie. When they were about 6 weeks old, we took them from Oklahoma City at my dad's ranch and brought them here. And unfortunately, Bella was suffering from some worms at the time that we had been treating. But for any of you goat farmers out there, last year was a really bad year for certain types of worms. So her health was down, and then when she had the babies, of course, they were nursing, and it just really pulled her down. So we got her here, and she died less than 24 hours later, which left us with 2 really young kids, about 6 weeks old, that we bottle fed and raised them, and they've turned into kind of the founding members of our herd. So now her daughter Rosie is about 2 years old, almost 2 years old. So she's starting to come into heat for the first time. Rumble, her twin brother, is kind of interested. So we don't want that to happen for numerous reasons. Number one, they're brother and sister, they're friends, they need to stay that way. And number two, Rumble's not full 100% Ibex, so and he's the wrong color. He's black. He's got some black, back in his family tree. So we don't want that. We want to breed her to a full-blood, really good Ibex buck. So we're gonna separate them, but he's not real happy. So I'm gonna go over there and show you him. All right. So this is Rumble. Rumble is almost 2 years old. He is about 3/4 Ibex. He's got a little bit of Persian, a little bit of Nubian Ibex in him, and he's also got some Spanish goat in him. So like I was telling you guys, he's kind of like one of the first ones we've had. When Bella had her babies, I gave one to Zeke and I gave one to Kai. So Zeke picked Rumble, the boy, and Kai picked Rosie, the girl. So they're kind of sentimental. So he is showing interest in breeding some of the females, especially his sister Rosie, which we do not really want to happen today, or any day for that matter. So what we're doing is we're kind of facing the decision of whether to have him castrated, make him into a wether, or not. The problem with that is whenever you make a goat into a wether, they they don't grow the way that they should. They don't get as big. Their horns don't get as big. So obviously ibex, the primary reason for them is just for being a beautiful animal, having them as a pet, or a lot of them go to hunting ranches. People pay a premium to hunt these because they're so elusive in the wild that on a hunting ranch you have a chance to do something that you couldn't do usually in the wild. In the wild, these hunts can go on for days, a week, that you can get close enough because they just run, the mountains, and to be able to get a shot, even a 500 to 1,000 yard shot, could take days of stalking these animals. So a lot of people go down to South Texas and hunt them on hunting ranches. It's just part of life. It's kind of one of those things that you just have to learn. So that was Zeke. So what we're going to do later today is have a conversation with Zeke. He's going to have to make a decision. Rumble is his. It's his goat. And as is, if Rumble gets to a couple years old, he would be what you consider a shooter buck. And so, he would be sold to a hunting ranch, and somebody would pay a lot of money to go shoot him. But the other thing we can do is we can make him into a wether, and we can kind of keep him around, kind of as like the father figure, so to speak, not the actual father of our herd. So that's a conversation we're going to have. In the meantime, he's going to stay here in his little barn in isolation until we can figure out how to keep them all separated. So that's what we're doing today. Stick around, see how it goes. All right, so another thing we're doing today is we're gonna start the process of making kind of a sorting shed, kind of like a barn, but so it'll give them shelter in the winter or in the rain. Goats do not like to be wet. If you have goats, they need shelter. They just don't like being wet, so make sure they have a barn or something they can get out of the rain. These are mountain goats, so they're jumpers. We've had goats 2-3 weeks old jump out of a 4-foot fence, and some of the grown-ups we've seen them hop 8-foot fences just without even thinking. So you definitely have to have something covered whenever you're trying to sort them or medicate them or work them at all, because they will just jump out of anything, and that's not good. So these panels right here, they're from like stockyards. My dad picked them up in Oklahoma City when they were redoing all their stockyards. So these are old, but they're made out of steel. They are, they're not gonna, go anywhere anytime soon. So with a little bit of work, I think we can turn them into a pretty solid structure. It'll last a long time, which is important to us. Also, they were free, which is great because we're trying to do our ranching, homesteading the right way, which means you have to do it cheaply, I guess. So that's what we're trying to do. I don't know, 500-600 pounds each at least. So I'm gonna back them down this path, but to do that I gotta cut down a few trees. So what you learn when you're in any sort of farming and ranching is that no project is ever easy, and that you always have to do some work before you actually get to the work you're trying to do. So today I'm gonna do the work that has to be done to get to the place where I can do more work, so that I can do the work that actually needs to be done. So that's just kind of the life of ranching or small business in general. So we're going to cut down some trees. Some of them are really big. Then we're going to mulch them up because my wife is into back to Eden gardening, which if you haven't looked into that, go down that wormhole. That'll take you a few days. It'll be great. Anyway, so we're going to mulch the trees up and compost them so that we can plant next year in a back to Eden style garden. So that's what we're going to do. So here's the trailer with all of the panels. They have to go down here, down this path. Remember, I'm backing an 18-foot trailer down this, and I'm not the greatest trailer backer in the world. So these trees over here, kind of close to the path, make me a little nervous. I'm not going to cut down that one because it's big, and I want it to stay there because it gives them a little bit of shade. But like these little guys over here, they need to go for sure. So that's a tricky turn. And then these guys right here, which you can see they are some pretty big oak trees. But we're going to cut them down, and then hopefully we're going to be able to reuse some of the lumber. I've been building a lot of our fence posts and stuff out of trees, so that's a pretty big log. So as long as I can find some straight pieces that are 6 to 10 feet long, then we can repurpose those trees into other things that we can use here on the ranch. So we're going to start cutting some trees down and having fun. It is about 95 degrees today. Heat index is over 100. We're in Oklahoma, so it gets really humid here also. If you see this little gym, I put that up yesterday. If you have animals, especially horses or cattle and dogs, these flies will eat them alive. So you can buy these little bait traps at Atwood's, a couple bucks. But I mean, that was yesterday, and I'm gonna guess there's probably like 500 flies in there already. So I actually bought 4 of them. It says it can catch 20,000 flies. That's absolutely disgusting. But they're already in there. So I'm gonna put about 4 of these all around the pen. Hopefully that'll start getting some of the flies off. The other thing you can get, there's some like dust that you can put on your animals, and the flies don't really bother the goats a whole lot. Some of the horse flies will, but they mostly, man, they like to get on your dog's ears and bother your horse and stuff. So make sure that you're putting these out. Keep those animals safe, and also it's fun to watch it fill up with flies. It's kind of gross, but also kind of rewarding. So make sure you're putting these up around your property. Go visit your local feed stores or hardware stores, support them. Don't order it off Amazon if you can help it, because right now small businesses really need your help. So go pick some of these up, put them around your property, start catching some flies, and enjoy.